Okay, so we have here two different types of costs as the relationship with cost object. So first is the direct cost. As you can see in this table, we can see directly an wood. So adi may wood kita, may dakita glass on top, production worker salaries. These are the costs that were incurred in the production of this table. For indirect cost naman, these are costs that cannot be traced directly to a cost object, like paint, varnish, nails, production supervisor salaries. Production supervisor salaries kay diri man hiya directly nga related han pag-produce good han product. I mean, diri hiya bagat per hour ang salary niya. And production supervisor is paid like monthly. So diri hiya directly related han product. Depreciation of production equipment, depreciation of factory building. So these are mga indirect cost. Kay ang paint liwat diri man hiya for this table alone. So may damot mga tables nga gagamitan ito nga paint, ito nga varnish, ito nga nails, damo it gagamitan ito. Unlike kun wood, makikita naton ini nga portion han wood amoy nian ginamitan. Ini nga portion han glass amo la ini ang ginamitan. So masasabtan naton nga direct cost niya. While an indirect cost pwede hiya attributed to the whole production. So diri ila para hini. Okay? Is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So we have here another type of costs. It is the criteria which is based on the behavior to changes in activity. So we have variable cost, fixed cost, mixed cost, and step costs. So tatag-usa-usahon ito natin. Variable. In total, it varies directly to changes in activity level within the relevant range. An example of variable cost is yung direct material. So direct material, sigunta, magpo-produce kita hin ballpen. Example na liwatan si man kanina. So, ang material naton is an ink. So, kung gano kadamo it ballpen nga himuon, amo gyapon kadamo han ink nga himuon. Kung signo naton 5 la nga ballpen ta himuon, nga dati naghihimo kita na pulo. So, han paghabubo han number han ballpen nga ginihimo, mahabubo liwat syempre it needed nga ink nga gagamiton. So, if iya total nga variable cost, magbabag-o. Syempre mahabubo iya kay guti ay naman it ballpen nga ipoproduce. Whereas and per unit and per ink, let's say for example an per ballpen nga an ink and per ballpen nga nako-consume, permanente ito sugad. Kay diri man masaring it pilot nga ballpen, ini nga ballpen katunga la, ini nga ballpen bugos an ink. So it per unit nga cost same, permanente. Whereas ang total syempre nakadepende kung gaano kadamo ang unit nga mapoproduce. Whereas ang fixed naman, an in total constant within the relevant range. So, masistering naton an example nga da is the utilities or masistering naton an rent na la. Mas maupay kasi nga example an rent. So, rent han factory building. Syempre, bisan gaano pa kadamo an iyo maproduce nga machine nga ballpen, an iyo rent is constant na liwat. So, fixed na ito hiya. Per unit, waray maniton per unit ang kanan rent, di ba? Excuse me. Varies inversely to change in activity within the relevant range. So, kung signo naton, gusto naton i-measure la an rent divided by the number of production. Siyempre, matikaguti it per unit. Kay total rent natin, siguro natin 50,000. Gusto natin nag-allocate and cost han ballpen divided by siguro natin 100 ballpens na aton na-produce. Pag 100 ballpen na aton ma-produce, magiging mas guti ay it aton per unit fixed cost kung maging 200 ballpens na it mapoproduce. Kay damo naman it pagtuturungaan. Am I understood? Okay, otrohon ko ha. Ang fixed cost, constant hiya within the relevant range. Meaning, in total ha, in total. Kung ang fixed cost han rent naton is 50,000 per month, permanente ito ya 50,000 per month. Pero kung i-compute naton ang per unit, i-compute naton tagpira ba ang fixed cost per ballpen. Sigmo naton, anay mahimo ako nga dihin, Excel file para mas madali. Ayun. Signo naton ang rent was 50,000. Insert out of it. Zoom pala ha. Rent is signo na 50,000 per month. And then production. Singuntaan naton usual production is 100 units of ballpen. Gusto naton i-allocate ang cost per ballpen. Tapos yan na, we are planning to do 200 units of ballpen na. So makikita naton 50,000 divided by 100 ang iya fixed cost per ballpen, FC per ballpen or per unit is 500. Pero kay nag-increase naman kung aton gusto i-produce, which is 200 na. So 50,000 divided by 200, 250 na la ang iya fixed cost per unit. So habang natikadako it number of units produced, natikaguti ay it aton unit cost. Whereas kung ha variable cost, signon ta variable cost per unit, constant lahiya nga tag 2 pesos per tube hand ink. Tapos mag-produce kitahin 100 units liwat na ballpen. 2 times 100 liwat, tag 200 ang total variable cost. Whereas, kung signo naton 100 la it i-produce nga ballpen, signo ta 200 na ngayon, di ba? 200 na, sorry. So, 200 na kuno nga ballpen ni taton i-produce. So, 2 times 200. Tagdos man kung taan tube hand ink. So, 400 na it total variable cost. Pero, if iya variable cost per unit, constant hiya at 2 pesos. Compare naton han fixed cost. Fixed cost niya per total is 50,000 per month. Ang iya units nga na-produce, 100 la, 500 ang iya per unit. Or per unit. 500 hiya per unit, han fixed cost. Han nakaproduce na hiyan 200 nga ballpen, nag 250 na la, ang iya fixed cost per unit. So gumuruguti, adi naman ang total nag-increase kay nagdamo naman ang unit nga ginproduce. Kay nakadepende man ang number of units, it iya total variable cost. So with that, is everything clear na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So, ito hiya it difference between variable and fixed cost. So later na ito nga mixed cost kay may deton mga formula nga aton need i-identify. So basic is the fixed and variable cost. So here is the example of the graph for fixed cost, variable cost, mixed cost, and step cost. So for fixed cost, level activity, no matter how many units are produced, same lali what it costs. As you can see, the one here straight line, horizontal straight line. Activity volume for variable cost naman, as the activity volume increases, the cost also increases. Amo nga, paslang kiya, increasing ya pataas. Okay? Whereas mixed cost, it composes of fixed and variable cost in one. So diri iya gaano nga nag-i-increase unlike for variable cost because may dahiya portion nga fixed cost. So later may dakita iton formula for that on how to compute the mixed cost. Last naman nga type of cost is the step cost. As you can see, it's like a staircase. So may certain range lahiya nga fixed. Tapos after ito nga certain range, ma-increase siya. May danaliwat certain range na fixed siya. Ang mga tinawag nga step cost. So if you have difficulty in understanding the different costs, you can just refer to this. Ano ba niya? It's a graph. Straight line, yeah, here. Pattern diagram, you can just refer to this one. Okay, so gin tirig obla ito an kanina. This is the per unit naman. Variable cost per unit, total variable cost. You can just refer to this one. Pero mas madali kasi adi maintindihan. Medyo complicated na kasi adi hiya kay ginhalo-halo silang lahat. So ayun. As to presentation on the financial statements, okay. Diin ba ito nasasabtan ito nga mga product cost and period costs? So, dida ito hiya ha income statement. Makikita nito natin ha income statement. So, ito nga product cost, usually ada ito hiya ha cost of goods sold. Period cost, usually ada ito hiya ha operating expenses. Okay, so what are these two costs? Product cost. These are costs that are related to making the products. So it's part of cost of goods sold, as I have mentioned earlier. So it's like the direct materials, the direct labor. So it's part of the production. So masisiring nato niya nga product cost. Overhead liwat nga directly related to the production. Period costs. These are costs that are related to business functions other than production and are being treated as outright expense when incurred, like an salary for the admin officer, like an expenses for the office building na they're related to production. It's part of the period costs. So and pahapyaw na ani nga discussion as to that because it will be focused na on the next few discussions naton. Okay, so adinan atan example kanina. Direct cost, indirect cost, and then period costs. Adi ha? Advertising expense, delivery expense, salaries of accountants, di ba? Ang mga habak office. So it's not related to the production. So it is recorded as a period cost. Salaries of the company's presidents. So these people are not involved in the actual production of the table. So it's part of the period cost. Depreciation of administration building, as what I have mentioned, it's not part of the factory building, the depreciation. So it's not involved with the direct production of the table. Depreciation of delivery vehicles, so hindi rin siya kasama sa product cost. Adi it mga product costs. The wood, the glass, production workers, salaries, ang mga indirect cost which is also involved or which is also directly related to the production of this table, the paint, the varnish, production supervisors, salaries, because he is involved in the production. So it's part of indirect cost, which is a product cost, which is recorded as part of the cost of goods sold of this table. Electricity consumed by production equipment, depreciation of production equipment. Nakikita niyo bagat nakakuan niya for the production lahat. Adi naman factory building. So kun diin ginihimo ang table. Whereas ang mga period cost, these are costs incurred outside of the production facility. Ayun, mas madali ito maintindihan. Outside of the production facility. Okay. Product cost, when goods are still in process, presented in the balance sheet as work in process inventory. Okay, kung na balance sheet hiya i-present, it's part of the work in process inventory. When goods are completed and transferred to finished goods when unsold, syempre, adto ya finished goods inventory. When sold, adiha income statement na akong gin-mention kanina, nga partiyahan cost of goods sold and product cost. Whereas ang period cost, it is presented in the income statement as operating expenses. Yun. So, kung nababaligyan na iya, part of cost of goods sold. Kung period cost iya not related to the production, it's part of operating expenses. Excuse me. Okay. So, ano pa ba tata next discussion? What time is it, class?
10:01, ma'am.
Oh, 10:01 na.
10:02.
Sige. Okay, so we are going to start next meeting after, okay, tapos nakatangala. Yeah, here. Separating mixed cost na kita. Number 5, page number 5 on your handout. So I think you already have the access. You can read this material in advance para madali na let out ang discussion next meeting. So be ready for the discussion about the mixed cost na. Class ha, next meeting. It will be on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Tapos, starting next week, by Wednesday, activity na ako igahatag and every Saturday na aton discussion as what we have discussed han aton orientation. Okay? Is everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Very good. So, is everything clear? Do you have questions before we end the session?
None, ma'am.
Nan, sige. Kindly read na lahat ang mga handouts.
Ma'am,
Okay.
adto po yun niya, AM
Ama
AMAS.
yes, oo. Adto. Pwede liwat ka mo mag-try pag-answer pero ayola na yan na after na let aton discussion. May nga to bagat quiz na pwede niyo ma-practice.
Yes, ma'am. Babasahan na lang po naman.
Sige. Okay, so see you on Saturday at 8:30 a.m.
So, ma'am,
Okay.
every
Sige. Ano adto?
kuan ma'am, bali next week